Welcome back to my channel, Open Heart Healing. Welcome if you're new. My name is Sarah. I am a Christian mystic, and Jesus and the Holy Spirit speak to me and through me. So today we're going to do a card reading like we do, 3 oracle cards, 3 tarot cards, or however many come out, and then we get the messages from Spirit for whoever's watching this. Whenever you're watching this, I always set the intention before I start that at least one of these messages will resonate for each person, or there'll be something that, you know, gives you a little aha moment or is useful or at least interesting. You never know what's going to come out of my mouth. Speaking of which, we're going to try to avoid getting the video banned this time. Last week, I got a little carried away telling a story that, yeah, I'm not allowed to say those things on YouTube. So I immediately, it got flagged and I had to take the video down, and then I had to learn how to edit. So apologies for if you watch that video and you saw my terrible shoddy editing skills. It was just a miracle to me that I even figured out how to edit. So I was just grateful to be able to figure out how to cut out that story that was not allowed for me to tell, and piece the video back together. So anyway, hopefully I don't have to do that again. I was not a fan of doing that editing. Well, it took me a long time to figure out how to even do it, but I got it done. But anyway, I'm going to try to avoid saying naughty. So before I start, I wanted to show you the roses that Jesus gave me. A dozen roses, all colors. I just got these yesterday, but unfortunately the white ones are looking a little rough, but the rest of them are looking good. They smell good. So they're from Jesus, but obviously, you know, an actual human gave them to me. I walked into my chiropractor appointment yesterday, and my chiropractor handed me a dozen roses, and I was like, what is happening? Like, who goes to the chiropractor appointment and gets a dozen roses? Me. I do, I guess. Well, I mean, that's the first time it's happened, but yeah, so that's how Jesus works. He has to use other humans to do his work, just like he uses me to do his work with other people. So it's just kind of fun. So anyway, I wanted to have the roses kind of in the reading today. So hopefully if they get in my way, I'll have to move them, but I think they'll be okay right there. I just wanted to show you how beautiful they are. And I mean, I haven't had anyone give me flowers. I don't remember last time someone gave me flowers, honestly. It's been many years. So yeah, that was fun. Okay, I'm going to start shuffling and then I can keep talking because I wanted to tell you guys about one other thing that's happening to me. So apparently I've become telepathic, which I've known that I'm somewhat telepathic for a number of years now. The first time I figured that I learned about that was with my sister, and that was back in probably 2014 or 2015. And then I also did notice I was telepathic with a few other people along the way, but it was always people that I was connected to, like our hearts were connected, so I attributed it to that. But recently I'm noticing that strangers or acquaintances, people I don't really know, are hearing my thoughts. So I'm having a thought in my head and then I watch them react to that thought, and then they usually run away. So that's been interesting. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, like I have to monitor my thoughts? How do you do that? You know, like I have a lot of thoughts in my head that I would never say out loud. But now if people can hear them, I can't even allow myself to think those thoughts. Or, I mean, they're not like malicious, but brutally honest. And, you know, like I said, things I wouldn't say, you know, wouldn't say to the person. So I've just asked Jesus to help me with that, and trying to just have like good thoughts. But it's a good thing, honestly, that I don't leave my apartment much. I think it's a good thing. So, oh, these are nice cards. I'm liking these cards that are coming out. Okay, all the tarot cards. And I already pre-shuffled the decks, like I do. So yeah, anyway, telepathic with strangers. Telepathy. So I'm not really sure what to do with that. I mean, it seems like a pretty amazing thing, but it's also, it feels like a, you know, like a huge responsibility, like I said, to try to, I'm gonna have to be very, oh my gosh, I swear a card just came out, but it didn't. That was weird. Okay. Phantom card. Oh, okay. Alrighty. So, let's see here. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm like nervous every time I leave my house now. Oh, goodness. You should have seen what Jesus was having me do yesterday. I tell you, my life is it's a trip. And yet it's very, very boring. So it's such an interesting thing. Like, yeah, it's just very calm and peaceful and quiet, and I don't have any drama. I don't really have any stress, which is good, but it's just so boring. It's like, oh, I don't know. Anyway, just a little tangent there. So these are the Sacred Traveler Oracle cards. And we got Finding Sanctuary. Opening to your spiritual source. Oh, that goes with the Ace of Cups. I already know that. Sorry. Maybe these roses are going to get in the way. Hopefully you can see that okay. I'm kind of shaky today. I used to be shaky all the time until I learned how to calm my nervous system. And now I don't get shaky very often, but every once in a while I do. Cleansing waters. Purification activates vibrant life force. This is a beautiful card. This card reminds me of one from my own personal oracle deck that I made, where I cut pictures and words out of magazines and glued them onto cards. I have one that I think it says go with the flow or something, but she's laying in water like that. And then we got First Light, beginning a new cycle. And this moon, when I first looked at it with the leaves, I thought it was a peach. Although it kind of looks more like an orange, but I was getting a peach. So there's something with peaches or peach, or I'm not sure. Maybe that means something to one of you. Peaches? Anyway. And then for our tarot cards, we got, oh, this is the Arcanum Tarot, like I used last time. I just saw 808 on the clock. Great 808. The Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is very nurturing, loving, like a very motherly type of energy. So, something there. And then we have the beautiful Ace of Cups. We have wonderful cards here today, you guys. Not a bad card in sight. Not that I really think any of the cards are bad, but you know, sometimes some of the cards don't look that nice, you know, like death or the devil, things like that. But none of those cards here today. Ace of Cups. And we got the Hanged Man. Major Arcana, number 12. The Hanged Man. So, we will get into it. There's a lot of water. There's a lot of water in these cards. The Hanged Man has water. It looks like it's water. It looks like he's hanging over water. Although that's a little fuzzy, hard to see. Ace of Cups, definitely full of water. The Queen of Cups, water. Cleansing waters. So, water. I saw somebody post, another tarot reader on YouTube. She posted today a random post just saying she got the message that somebody needed to drink more water because water just helps your energy flow through your body better. It helps with just everything. So, yeah, I'm just getting to tell you guys that as well, especially with all this water. And that's the first thing that's coming to mind is that message that I read, which I always drink a lot of water. I mean, the first thing I do when I wake up is drink a glass of water pretty much. And then I drink water all throughout the day. So I don't think that one is for me, but maybe for you. I also just recently learned that you're supposed to have a little bit of like Himalayan salt when you drink water, because the salt helps your body absorb the water better or more effectively or whatever. So, you know, I'm no doctor, no medical professional, but you could look into that if you want. I mean, I think taking a pinch of salt is a relatively safe thing to recommend to people, but who knows? That maybe you can't have any salt. I don't know. I'm so worried about the things I say now in these videos. I'm like, it's so funny. I've had my channel for well over 3 years now, and I've never had a warning or a strike or had a video banned or anything from YouTube before. So last week's video was the first for me, and I was like, oh. But that's funny because I'm always worried about it with the cards, and I can't have the cards with the naked people on them and stuff. And I was so worried about that, and then I ended up just spouting my mouth off about something I know I'm not allowed to talk about. But honestly, when I was telling that story, that was actually Jesus was telling the story. Because when I finished telling the story, I went like this. And usually if I'm like saying something passionately, and then when I'm done, I kind of like have to do like that sigh or whatever. That says that was Jesus. I was like channeling Jesus because he's very passionate. He's an interesting personality or whatever, however you want to say it. You know, he's very loving and peaceful and joyful. But he also is very passionate, and he gets real fired up. You know, he did flip some tables. He was known to flip a few tables in his time, right? And he's still flipping those tables, I tell you. Which is kind of interesting for me when I have to like experience that. I'm like, okay, all right, Jesus. We have, you know, there's work to be done, and there's no more. We don't have time to like goof around anymore and allow things to slide that maybe in the past we've allowed to slide, because yeah, there's no more time for that, I guess. So just a little side message for you. So the water, but also the water is emotions. And this cup, the Ace of Cups, you know, spilling over. So this is never given me this message before, I don't think, but it is today. Is maybe someone's emotions are getting the better of them, like they're being overwhelmed by emotion. Or this could also be telling me emotional purging. Maybe somebody who is watching this has been experiencing some emotional purging, or will be experiencing some emotional purging. We did just have the new moon in Scorpio, and the moon in Scorpio is intense emotions, regardless of anything else about it. So I know that personally, firsthand, all too well. I spent like 1.5 years emotionally purging, like pretty much on a daily basis, as part of my inner work that I did, my healing work that I've done. That was back in like 2019 into 2020. I spent a lot of time crying, a lot of tears shed, but it was, like I said, part of my healing process. And so if you're going through that, I just want you to know that I remember when I was in it, day after day, I felt like, I mean, I was able to function still, mostly, you know, like it wasn't consuming me all day, every day, but like things would just kind of come up every day, and there was just a lot of emotional purging and crying. And I remember thinking, like, is this ever going to end? Like, how long do I have to cry for? Like, how long is this going to last? And like I said, it lasted about 1.5 years. I don't know. I didn't like keep track of it, but it was well over 1 year. And, but it was, like I said, it was part of my healing. So if you're going through that, just know that it's part of your healing journey. And it's actually a really good thing, even though it feels terrible to experience, but it's for a purpose, and it's actually that's you clearing the gunk out of your heart. How I always say that. That's how Spirit described it to me, is that trauma and wounding and baggage and stuff like puts gunk in our heart, and the goal is to clear all the gunk out of your heart so that your heart can be, that's how you know, like activate your sacred heart, is you have to like clear all the gunk out of it, and then the Holy Spirit activates it. So yeah, if you're going through that, I'm with you energetically, I guess. I've been there. I know what it's like. And yeah, I'm here if you need someone to talk to about it. So I feel like I don't have very good light today. It's kind of a cloudy day. And I have this big, giant, I guess I'll hold it up, chunk of green calcite that I got once upon a time. And I've decided to put heavy things in the corners of the cloth to try to keep the cloth from moving when I'm doing the reading. So anyway, I got like all this stuff around, but I feel like it's casting a shadow. It is casting a shadow on this card for sure. I'm trying to pull the cards down so you can see them a little bit in case you forget what cards we have here. Okay, and anything else? I'm just noticing she has roses. Interesting, very interesting. This little, maybe a little thing for me. She's got like a purple rose and a orange peachy rose and like a cream colored rose right here, like they're in her hair. Or that's kind of weird because she's laying in water. Why would those be there? Whatever. It makes the card more beautiful, I guess, with the colored roses, but it just goes with my colored roses that I have here from Jesus. Jesus never ceases to amaze me how he works in mysterious and amazing ways. Yeah, so the roses. So roses. Maybe that means something to somebody watching this. Roses. Mother Mary is known for roses. So I'm getting that connection. I was already guided to, I'm keeping these roses on I have like an island in my kitchen. And so I have the roses sitting up there, and right in the middle of that island, I have a little nightlight statue thing with Mother Mary in it, and she's in seashells. So I call her Our Lady of the Shells. Anyway, I turn that on at night sometimes, but I was already guided yesterday when I put the roses out that I'm supposed to like have that little thing of Mary, and then maybe like I have a bigger Mary statue, or I have a number of Mary statues actually. So I'm supposed to put another one on each side of the roses and take a picture with the roses and Mother Mary. So I guess that's obviously I'm supposed to be telling you that for some reason. So if you want to connect to Mother Mary more, maybe like use roses, rose imagery, or the scent of roses, rose oil, rose quartz even. Rose is very, it's one of the most high vibrational plants that exists on earth, I believe, which is why it's the symbol for Mary. And it's very high vibrational. So when I had my house and I used to be able to take baths, I would always put rose essential oil in the bath, and I always had a candle in a rose quartz candle holder on the side of the bathtub and stuff. So maybe somebody watching this wants to incorporate roses into their routine somehow. So the Ace of Cups and the First Light, beginning a new cycle, are going together right now, because both of these would indicate a new beginning of some kind. Beginning a new cycle. And then the Ace of Cups. All the aces are pretty much like new, something big that's coming into your life. I'm getting, it's also going with this Hanged Man. I said that weird. Okay. But the Hanged Man, oh, hi, Twilight. My cat she never makes an appearance in these videos. She never comes to me when I'm reading. Come here. You want to come up and say hi? Oh, you're going to say hi? Okay, here, we'll get back to the Hanged Man. I'll show you my cat. This is Twilight. Twilight. You're looking the wrong way, Twilight. Twilight. Look that way. Oh, yeah, show the people how cute you are. Look at that cute face. I say she reminds me of that dragon Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon. She kind of looks like, she's got a face kind of like that dragon. If you know that movie. Okay, what do you want to do? No, you're not going to climb on my table. You'll wreck everything. Okay, you go down there. That's so funny. And that's also funny because I was thinking about that just the other night. I was like, you know, it's funny. Like, my cat never bothers me when I'm doing card readings. This time she comes and maybe she's looking for her litter box. I have to move her litter box into the other room when I do readings because it's normally like right here. And if you saw my first card reading from this apartment, she was using the litter box in the middle of the reading. And I was like, oh, awkward. Anyway, so it's like I knew that was coming, I guess. Anyway, so the Hanged Man is usually, you know, about well, it could mean any number of things, but typically it means like you're just kind of in a waiting phase or a holding phase, or, you know, where like there isn't much movement. Maybe you're indecisive, you don't know which way to go or something like that. And it can talk about like having an epiphany and finally realizing what it is you need to do so you can get out of that Hanged Man energy, they say. So the beginning a new cycle in the Ace of Cups is just telling me that, yeah, somebody has been just kind of, I'm getting in suspended animation. Yeah, and that that is going to be coming to an end, and there's going to be movement again in some kind of direction. So I'm just being really, this Queen of Cups, I'm not really sure. Well, she looks like she's holding the Ace of Cups. And then we also got the Ace of Cups. So Ace of Cups for the Queen of Cups. I don't know, but I'm being really drawn to the blue color on this card. She's got that beautiful blue, try not to get the glare, blue dress. And everything's just kind of tinged blue in this card. It's very, these cards are just very beautiful. And then I was like, got to wear my blue shirt here. So something with the color blue. Blue is a very calming color, related to the throat chakra. So maybe that's for somebody. Your throat chakra, maybe you have a block in your throat chakra or something. You could wear blue or use blue stones, or, you know, just do like throat chakra. You could, you know, look on YouTube for throat chakra meditations or sound healings and stuff. I typically don't recommend that, only because there's so much out there on YouTube and you don't know. Yeah, it's the Scorpio energy that I have, is like I'm very suspicious of things now. I'm like, I know there's a lot of controlled op, and I know there's a lot of like people who are trying to like put out misinformation and not helpful things. So I would imagine that there's a lot of those, some of those types of things on YouTube are actually maybe not doing great things for people. I don't really know how to explain that better. But so I myself don't even like listen to them or go looking for them or whatever, just because of that, because I can't, I mean, I guess I have discernment, so I probably, maybe, you know, can whatever, but I don't know, but you're probably fine if you want to look up something like that, or maybe you have some of those already that you have used in the past that you want to dig back out to use again or something like that. I have a CD that has like I think it has a different track for each of the chakras or something, and that was put out years ago, and I would trust that. So I'm getting the name Robert Halpert, but I don't know if that's, I'm going to just look that up real quick because I don't know. Robert Halpert. I don't know if that's right. And I can't type. I don't think that's anybody. I'm just making stuff up now. What? I mean, obviously that is somebody's name, so there is stuff coming up, but I don't think that's the right. There's a Robert Gilbert talking about chakras. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking about that. I don't know. Maybe those names mean something to someone or whatever. Anyway, yeah, so throat chakra for somebody. So the finding sanctuary, opening to your spiritual source, is also going with the Ace of Cups. This Ace of Cups is kind of seems to be the center point of this reading. Ace of Cups. Okay, roses. They're getting a little bit in my way, but opening to your spiritual source. Is that what it says? I'm reading it backwards. I think it looks forwards for you, but to me it looks backwards. Finding sanctuary. And so the Ace of Cups, and what the Ace of Cups usually means to me is connecting to God inside of your heart and letting God fill your cup from the inside so that it overflows. And then you can share the overflow with others. But if you don't have that connection and that never-ending flow of divine love, then it's hard. You're not as effective in helping others and sharing it with others until you have filled yourself up from the inside, or God has filled you up from the inside is what it really is. But you do that by connecting to God inside of your heart portal. So that was the most life-changing thing that's happened to me, was learning to do that, was learning to open my heart and connect to God inside my heart, and having, my heart be filled with that divine love, with a never-ending supply that spills out and then spills out all over, everything that I come in contact with. So this message is for somebody who, everyone would benefit from doing this, but this, is also could be a big part of someone's healing journey, I think, of learning to do this. I'm being guided to tell you the story now of, never realized how many stories I told to someone. Was like, I love your stories. And I was like, oh, do I tell stories? I'm like, oh yeah, I do all the time. The cards will remind me of things that happened to me, and then I'm like, I'm supposed to tell you about it. Anyway, the first time I ever learned about opening my heart, or like the chakras and stuff, I was taking this energy healing training, and it was my first time taking anything like that, or learning anything like that, or doing any trainings like that. And I had just moved, and I needed to go to the DMV to get a new license. And the place where I was doing the training just happened to be right near the DMV, which was very convenient. So on our lunch break, I ran over to the DMV to get my new license, or license updated or whatever. And when I was in the DMV, and we had just learned about opening your heart and like how to open your heart and stuff. And literally I'd just been taught this. So I went to the DMV, and there were a handful of people in line in front of me. And this guy that was a few people ahead of me in line, I don't know what his deal was, but he was clearly visibly agitated, and he was like swearing and talking, and I don't know, like I said, I don't know what his deal was. I don't know what he was upset about, or maybe he was, mentally ill. I don't really know, but he was very upset about something, and I could feel, I just because I had just been learning about like the heart, opening the heart chakra, I could literally feel my heart chakra closing, because this guy was like, it was like a trauma response or something, like I didn't like his energy, was making me uncomfortable, and so I wanted to protect myself, and I could feel my heart closing, and I said, no, I'm gonna I'm going to like deliberately open my heart and keep my heart open and like blast out love and like as much as I can. And so I did that. And I kid you not, within like a minute of me doing that, this guy like just calmed right down and was fine the rest of the time. So I was like, oh, okay. So that was kind of my first like very, very tangible evidence of like opening the heart and how powerful it can be, and that you can actually affect the people around you with your heart chakra being open, and that it's important to like keep it open even when you want to close it. So I also found right after that, it was during the winter, and where I live, we have like very long, very harsh winters, and so driving can be treacherous sometimes in the winter with the ice on the roads and things. And I've had enough experiences of like going into the ditch and stuff like that, that I was at that point in my life, I was always like, driving in the winter was always very stressful for me. And I would just like grip the steering wheel when I would drive, and like I was just like all tensed up and stuff. And after learning about the heart chakra and keeping it open and stuff, I learned while I was driving to just like keep my heart open. And if I did that, then I realized like I didn't have, driving in the winter was not nearly as stressful if I just kept my heart open. And that was also part of me learning how to calm my nervous system, which I think I mentioned at the beginning of this video. I think I said something about that, about how I learned to, like regulate my emotions and calm my nervous system from, healing from the trauma and stuff. And so in learning to open my heart chakra was definitely like a big part of that, and was the beginning of my healing journey, I would say. So it's very helpful and important to do that. So I think more than one of you needed to hear that message. Maybe being aware of your heart chakra, like knowing that you have a heart chakra, being aware of it, learning how to feel it open. I always liken it to be like a rose or a flower. If you imagine it just blooming, like blossoming, like just opening up. That's how I kind of think of it, is like it's just opening like that, blossoming. And trying to like connect to God inside your heart and like be a conduit for that divine love, for God's love, so that you can bring it into the world. So okay. So this card, First Light, beginning a new cycle, has a nest with some bird eggs in it, but we also have a pine tree covered in snow. Oh, and there's like fall leaves. Is there probably something with spring? I'm gonna guess there's oh yeah, these flowers here would be spring. So this card, interesting, has symbols for all 4 seasons. So I'm getting the message of cycles. Everything kind of goes in cycles. And I was shown that everything is cycles, and it's also a spiral. So it cycles around, but it also you also go up and up in the energies or something. I don't know how to say that exactly. Because I've noticed that there are certain times a year where I have similar energies or similar experiences or things like that. For example, in Leo season, I always feel very powerful. I have a lot of Leo in my chart. My chart ruler is Leo. So, I always assume that probably has something to do with it. But Scorpio season is always just very intense for me. You're like not really pleasant, but just like intense things. And I also have strong Scorpio energy. Sagittarius, I'm always happy once we get through Scorpio season and get into Sagittarius season, because Sagittarius season is always very magical for me. That's when I first connected to Jesus inside my heart, was during Sagittarius season. And when Jesus first revealed himself to me, that he was with me all the time, was also in Sagittarius season. So those are just examples from my life, of my personal experience of things. But so the different signs, their seasons carry different energies for everyone, but they'll affect everyone differently or whatever. So the examples I gave were the way that some of the seasons affect me personally. So just being aware of that and paying attention. So just knowing if you have like a hard time during certain seasons, or, like for me in the winter, I tend to get depression. So the winter is very hard for me, which I like Sagittarius season for that reason too, because it's the beginning of winter, so it kind of helps that transition, but it kind of goes downhill after that. But anyway, yeah, just being aware of even like how this is showing the actual seasons, winter, spring, summer, fall seasons, that they have different energies, and you have different activities that you do during those times. So like I'm getting like traditions, things that you do. Maybe you have Christmas traditions or things you do in the winter, and then different traditions for the summer and things like that. And just, I don't know what the message of that is, but just being aware of it, and kind of they're saying it's related to like living in the now moment. So whatever season you're in, be fully in that season, be fully in that energy, in that moment. Last time in the last reading, I talked about how Spirit told me that I'm operating outside of linear time, and then after the reading, they elaborated and said that it's because I live in the now moment. I've practiced mindfulness so much for so long that I've learned how to be in the now moment, which is the 0 point, like in the heart. It's all connected. And I just live here in the now moment, and that's how I'm outside of time. So, yeah. Just being present where you are with whatever you're doing. Even if it's unpleasant, even if like I was talking earlier with if someone's doing emotional purging or something like that, just be fully in it, allow yourself to fully feel everything and to experience everything, and to be like mindful and paying attention to what is, what you're doing in each moment, where you are in each moment. Look around, pay attention to your surroundings, pay attention to the people that are around you, pay attention to what they're saying, things like that can help you just stay in that, what I call the 0 point. And that's kind of where you can create from, because you can't create in the past and you can't create in the future. You can only create now, in the now moment. So somebody needed to hear that. Okay, well, we've touched on all the cards. Let me just see if there's anything else I can getting from them. They're bringing up the Ace of Cups again. So this Ace of Cups, they're showing me how these fish, there's all these fish swimming around the base of this cup. And they're saying that when you learn to tap into the never-ending flow of divine love that you can access through your heart, when you learn how to do that and it spills over, like that, there's a lot of people who are going to benefit from that. So not only will you benefit from doing that, it'll help you have more love in your life. That's how I learned how to have self-love, basically. I felt God's love for me from inside my heart, and that's kind of was part of me learning to love myself. So when you do that, I guess there's like a lot of people who are going to benefit from you doing that. Like that your love is going to touch a lot of people in the world, and it's going to have a big impact. So not only will it have a big impact for you personally, but you're going to also impact a lot of other people with that love that spills over onto them. So you can share God's love with others who maybe don't know how to do that for themselves yet. Before I learned how to do that for myself, love myself from the inside with God's love, I was very codependent. My whole life I was codependent. So I was always looking to other people to love me. And I do still, I mean, I very much appreciate if other people love me now. And I wish I had a little more, I guess, of that in my life. But I have Jesus, so I'm good. But oh, I lost my thought there. Happens sometimes. Oh, but yeah, I guess I don't need it from other people anymore, although I do always appreciate it if people show me love, like how my chiropractor gave me these roses. It's just like, she like handed me these roses and I like burst out crying. I'm like, why? I always cry in the chiropractor's office. She has like a very healing energy to her, which is why I like her and why I've been seeing her for, I think 12, 13, 14 years or something now. She's been my chiropractor exclusively. So, because she has that natural healing energy to her. But yeah, a lot of times I go in her office and lay on the table and just start crying about stuff. It's like I feel like I'm going to a therapist or something. And I feel bad, but she likes me. So obviously she gave me flowers. She likes it when I smile more than when I cry. I can guarantee you that. So, yeah, she said, I don't know, the flowers, there was something, I don't think I said this part. I think our town, the Rotary Club, has like a rose fundraiser thing they do once a year. I remember them doing it last year. I heard about it last year. But anyway, she said that some lady had paid for these roses, or she bought extra, or the leftover ones they had, just some lady like donated and bought them or something, and then she gave them to people to give away to other people. So one of the people she gave them, I don't know how many there were, but was my chiropractor, happened to be there, I guess. And then the lady told my chiropractor to give them to somebody, I think she said give them to somebody who needs a smile or something like that. So and then she hands them to me and I start crying. No, but I did smile. It did make me happy. I'm such an emotional person. She's so used to me crying and being emotional. Like I said, oh, God bless her. She doesn't faze her any, and she's a beautiful soul, so with a beautiful heart. So I appreciate her. And I appreciate her showing me love like that. So anyway. All right. Just a lot of flowers today on the cards. 3 of the cards have flowers on them. Then I have my flowers. There's flowers on this cloth here. It says peace, joy, and love on it too. Okay, I'm getting one last message. Just reading is getting long, but the Hangman has also given me the message today of somebody putting in a lot of time and effort to practice some kind of skill to become very good at it. Like I'm seeing him as some kind of like acrobat or whatever, learning like, what do they call that? Like silks, the silks. You can learn how to like wrap yourself up in them and then like spin around and stuff like that. And so that takes a lot of time and practice and energy of learning that skill, right? And then I'm getting the message that he's like, look at me, look what I can do. Like, ta-da, this is amazing. So I'm just getting the message, yeah, that somebody watching this is thinking about learning a new skill or is learning a new skill. And the message is to just keep going and put in the time and the effort to do it, because once you accomplish it, once you learn how to do this skill with ease, you're going to be very proud of yourself, and you know it's part of your life journey as well. So it might bring you new opportunities or something for a career or anything. I mean, this could be any kind of skill at all, but just that you'll feel that sense of pride and accomplishment once you have learned how to do it and you mastered it. So don't give up and just keep putting in the time and the effort. to learn how to do something new. Could be just like a hobby or something, you know, or it could be really, like I said, related to your job or something like that. So, all right. Well, thank you for being here with me today. As always, I appreciate you very, very much. And I love you. And yeah, if you want to be one of my most valuable viewers, you could leave a rose emoji in the comments, would be appropriate today. I always am so grateful to those of you who do that, but no pressure, you don't have to. It's all right. It's all right if nobody does, but I just, you know, it just brings me a little extra joy in my day. So I like to say that at the end. Anyway, I hope you're doing well. You know, let me know how you're doing if you want, but if you don't, that's okay. I'm wishing you all the best and sending you so much love, and I'll see you next time. Bye.